course, we go to beer. If you love the craft beer scene in Central Oregon, we have a way for you to go up your ante in your beer knowledge. Mackenzie Wilson takes us on a tour that's both tasty and educational.
Unless you've been living underneath a rock for, like, ever, you know drinking and driving, they don't, or at least better not go together. Good news, I found you a new designated driver, and his name is Jeff Jazerkowski. But he's not exactly what you think.
I've always loved beer. I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My very first field trip when I was in kindergarten was in a brewery. So when I smell that smell, it reminds me of the old Milwaukee days where I grew up.
Now Jeff's taking other people to breweries, and he's doing it in this, the Bend Hoppy Tours bus.
We're headed off to Worthy Brewery right now over on the east side, and it's going to be a great time. Hopefully we'll have Chad, the brewmaster. We did request him. He's a character. So just hang tight, and on the way over there, maybe we can mention a few things that you might not know about in Bend, and try to point out some pubs on the way, and just hang tight. We'll be there in probably about 10 minutes.
Jeff's not just a driver. He's kind of a tour guide, always throwing out little tidbits here and there about Central Oregon. But once you get inside the breweries, their people take over. At Deschutes, our guy was Aaron Callahan.
A lot of people think this is like a summertime beer, you know. I think of it as a good wood chopping beer.
A wood chop, I like that.
For this
because
time of
I'm
year,
always chopping wood.
I heat my house with a wood stove, and so when I'm out chopping wood, I don't need to be drinking a big IPA or some heavy stout or anything like that.
You don't want to get too tired.
The Deschutes River Ale is nice and light, it's crisp, and it's a lower alcohol content because, you know, when you're swinging an axe around, you got to be safe.
Aaron showed us all around the massive brewery, but we didn't just drink the entire time. We put our thinking caps on for a little bit and learned how they make the beer so tasty.
In the sensory analysis room, it might look like we're here to visit inmates at the state pen, but that's not the case. We have these dividers up here because sense of taste is very subjective. You don't want to be influenced by what your neighbor tastes. As soon as somebody says, oh, it tastes like bananas, everybody in the room is going to taste bananas in the sample. So there's no talking, there's no comparing notes. They have these dividers up here to separate everybody so that they get an objective view from each of the taste testers.
Jeff usually tags along on the tour, which sounds pretty great, but if you're a beer lover, it's a little bit more like torture.
Hardest part is not being able to have a beer when you're doing the tour.
After tossing back some tasters, Worthy's brewmaster stepped in and he gave us the grand tour.
I mean, it's a pretty intimate experience, like food or wine or anything like that. You actually ingest what I produced, and that's pretty intimate. So it's kind of nice to have that conversation with people and to get to meet the people that are enjoying your product. And also it's cool to just see what people think about what you do and the questions they ask. It kind of helps you look at it in a different light.
Another great thing about having Jeff on the tour, he's always taking pictures. So you have more time for more important things, like drinking.
Beer and an education sounds a little bit like college. Well, you can take a Bend Hoppy tour to a distillery, a winery, and hopefully soon to the coast for some surfing. Looking for something to do this St. Pat's? How about a night with the Moon Mountain Ramblers right here at the Belfry? They join us right after the break.